Friends, welcome to Simzuu. In a journey of knowledge sharing, and we believe that knowledge prospers all, let us commence with the part 2 of Origins of Natural Justice. Part 1 we have already seen. Those who have not seen, I request them to see part 1 first. Now friends, under Origins of Natural Justice, we are going to see today what different jurists in the world, how they defined natural justice. And if you see what Aristotle said, Aristotle, one of the philosophers in Greece, he said natural justice, he called it natural law or universal law. He said the full universe is bound by it, so it is universal law. And it was Justinian. Justinian called it jura naturalia. That is natural law. You see, they are defining natural justice in different ways, different jurists in different ways. And then they also said that amongst most of the savages, there was nothing like a justice at all. Man stayed in the jungle and there was savage law. Might is right. And that was the law which prevailed in those days. So among savages, there was nothing like a concept of justice itself. And in those days, a person wronged executed his own justice. Jiski lathi uski bhais. That is what they say in Hindi. That yes, might is right. If you have wronged me and you have cut my hand, I will take something and cut your hand. And who is going to do justice? I myself. This was in the days of the Jungle Raj or amongst most of the savages. Even our ancestors, let's come down to the 13th century after, say, people like Alauddin Khilji ruled in India. And the Mughals had just entered into India, we can say. In the 13th century, a thief, he was caught. And yes, all used to say he's a thief and there's no trial in a proper form and then a summary execution of justice. And whatever were the prevalent laws, they used to punish him. So there is no proper trial in the real sense of the term as we find it today. And now you see, friends, thereafter started a metamorphosis. The law started getting refined. There was an evolution even in the principles and the concepts of natural justice. And different jurists tried to define natural justice in a diverse manner. Some said that it is unwritten law. There is a law, it's not written, it is unwritten. And they called it jura just non scriptum. It's just non scriptum. Means what they say, it is also called as the law of the reason. They presume that in every person there is a reason, a light which flickers, and that is called as reason. And that itself is natural justice, some jurists said. Then some of them said that natural justice is a term which cannot be defined but can be described. That yes, this is natural justice and you have not been doing justice with this sort of a person. It cannot be cabined or confined, or it cannot be cribbled into a certain definition. But yes, it can be described. This is what certain jurists said. Then some called it as a humanizing principle. And humanizing principle was that the function of the law is to impart or to secure justice, or in other words, to prevent miscarriage of justice. What is law for? To secure justice, there is a common thread which goes even today amongst all the laws, that is justice delivered. So friends, we saw that the basic purpose of natural justice is to secure justice or to prevent the miscarriage of justice, and over with the period of time, with the efflux of time, some of the principles of natural justice are ingrained or crystallized into different legislations. And even yet something remains. And that is why we say that natural justice begins where legislation ends. It is an area which is not covered in any legislations, and those areas have to be decided on the anvil or on the touchstone of natural justice. Now, there have been many cases, friends, say for example, age-old cases, Abbott versus Sullivan, wherein the honorable judges said that the principles of natural justice are easy to proclaim, but their precise extent is far less easy to define. And then we have Aristotle, so many of his judgments. And moreover, friends, as we are passing through, let me tell you one thing. Socrates also has contributed to the natural justice. And yes, of course, Aristotle, who can forget Aristotle when it comes to natural justice? Aristotle's son, his name was Nicomache. And Aristotle used to give him sermons, and all those sermons are into a book which is called as Nicomachean Ethics. That can be considered to be the Bible of natural justice. And these are the sermons or the stories we can say, which he, or the principles which we can say that he told his son. And then came a metamorphosis of time, and now there is a very restricted or constricted meaning has been given to natural justice, and ultimately there have been a plethora of judgments and a catena of cases, and in a slew of cases, Honorable Supreme Court, not only in India but the various courts in the world, have had an occasion to keep natural justice into two vital rudiments, which can be enshrined into two maxims. One is audi alteram partem, that is right to be heard. And second is nemo debet esse judex in propria causa, that nobody can be a judge in his own cause. So this is the basis. And apart from this, there are some additional principles, and one is due notice. How do I know that a trial is to begin? So where is the notice to me? And there is a duty on the part of the judge to act impartially and not under any distress, or it should be not, the judge should function without fear or favor and not upon the dictates of any institution or any human. And friends, there is another landmark case. And yes, friends, McLean Workers Union, that is a famous case wherein it was held that natural justice is present in every person, but maybe justice may not be present. I mean, some people have an urge to do injustice also. We are not talking of the natural law which is prevalent in every person, that it is. But then the element to do justice should be there. And then, friends, we had local government body versus Ehrlich, wherein Viscount Haldane, he held that the basic duty of justice is to do justice itself and to act impartially and to ensure that there is no injustice done with everybody or anybody. And then the one more case we'll see, that is Honorable Supreme Court in Mohinder Gill versus Chief Election Commissioner, wherein Honorable Supreme Court had an occasion to deal with many facets of natural justice. They said that natural justice is a pervasive facet of secular law, and wherein it enlivens and gives legislation a spiritual touch, you can say, and to make fairness as a creed of life. Look at the words which Honorable Supreme Court has used. It wants natural justice to be a creed of life as regards fairness is concerned. And it says natural justice can be of a different color, it can be of different shades, it can be of different forms, it can be of different shades. And yet what we see is, with all these things, it applies to all when people are affected by any acts of authority. We have seen so many authorities, they are arbitrary, prone to do injustice, and it is here natural justice comes to our rescue. Supreme Court says it is the bone of health, and it cannot be treated as a mystic testament of only judge-made law. It is a bone of health. Judge-made law is there, but it cannot be at the whims and caprices and of the fancies of the judge also. And natural justice has endorsed its prevalence in Anglo-American systems of justice also. That is also to be seen. So friends, we see what were origins of natural justice, and in a journey of sharing knowledge, and we all believe, you and me, both are students of law, and when we all believe that knowledge prospers all, let us wait for the third video on some other topic, on some other concept of labor laws and industrial laws. Thank you so much.